I feel like if we start messing about with Daedric beings, it could spell a very nasty end. But there was 2 mines here.
Yes?
Hi there.
If I get any rest soon, I'll count myself richer than a king.
Oh, hello. There's people here.
I plan to spend all the days I got.
I take it you think I'm the captain of the Sea Squall? It must be the beard. Hate to disappoint you, but not every person who wears a beard is a rugged leader of men. Some of us are just ruggedly handsome. No, the one you want to talk to is the boy, Captain Leaf Wayfinder. Right then.
Everyone thinks I'm too young to be a ship's captain, but I'm going to prove them wrong.
Kind of want to hear what you want to say.
There.
What made you choose to be a sailor?
That's a good question. I like the ocean, but I don't love it. I'm not like these salt sniffers who use clams as coin purses and have more barnacles on their crotch than hair.
Oh, wow. So why become a sailor if you hate the job?
I guess I chose it because it's the thing I hate the least.
I mean,
And every day I see these miners walk out soaked in sweat, I realise I made the right choice. Although, if I were a miner, I reckon I'd figure out some way to weasel out of working. No point breaking your back for a job with no future.
that's true. That is true. You could have been a barber.
Couldn't stomach it. All these children working in with a couple of strands of sewer in their face, asking me to trim their beard. Then you got them old lords. They got beards so mangy they got a colony of birds roosting inside.
Wow.
Thanks, but no thanks.
Tell me about the sea squall.
Well, the ship's got but one mast, so it's not the fastest vessel and it doesn't handle particularly well either. But she's sturdy and has a hull bigger than a witness's backside. So you
Wow.
know the cargo is going to get there, if not on time.
Good. The Sea of Ghosts can be perilous for an unworthy vessel.
I've yet to see a storm strong enough to capsize her, although one came close when we were off the coast of the Iliac Bay. Wasn't really a storm so much as the waves. They eddied and swayed with no direction, as if the ocean itself were as confused. When the eye hit us, I ran over to the port side and emptied my stomach. It's then that I saw a school of shadowy figures pass under the hull. Dolphins, I thought. Only something was odd about the way their tails lashed under the water.
Mermaids.
And the curve of their bodies was, well, like no fish I know. And their heads. Long, wispy, almost like hair. And when it strummed the water, I could almost hear the melody of the ocean in my head.
Could have been a lamia. If they're a fish, they could be hunted and eaten like the rest, though.
Well, I reckon you could get away with eating the lower half. Anything north of the border and you risk becoming a cannibal.
Interesting. Well, I don't know about a crew.
Ravam is the Dunmer who's always complaining about the captain.
I mean, he did a minute ago, so.
Something else lazier than I am, but he has too much pride to let anyone know it. I'm gonna find a new ship, he says. Where else can a man get paid to lie around the dock all day and hoot at the mining guns?
True. True, true, true. Why do you think he complains?
When he complains, that's the pride talking. He doesn't like taking orders from a child.
That's fair.
He'll get over it.
What if Ram were to Mooney?
I'd sooner shave my beard than help him. Ravam is prideful and ambitious. A bad mix of ale if you ask me. The first thing he'd want to do is prove he's a real captain. And that'll mean some risky venture out into the sea of ghosts. The sooner he stops caring about what people think, the sooner he'll be able to enjoy the reign of Captain Shorefinder.
Why doesn't Grumph Vile? Why doesn't Grumph Vile to be captain?
The old mariner's got one foot in the trench already, and he ain't the type to make waves. Besides, he thinks the boy is learning. What he means by that is anyone's guess. The boy doesn't even know how to tie his shoes. Can't see how he can hoist a sail.
Admit it, you once talk about their facial hair.
I do, but wasn't sure if you wanted to hear my critique. Guthrum has one of those wispy moustaches that looks like a whale's fluke.
Wow.
The man needs to act his age and get a beard. As for Ravan, can't say as much of anything, which is probably for the best. Better than to not even try than grow one out and look like a fool.
I mean, that's true. That's enough about the crew. You don't seem to respect Captain Wayfinder either, though.
I don't have to respect the boy to like him. He inherited the ship from his hag-raven of a mother, and it was nothing short of a miracle.
Wait, did you say you liked the captain?
I do. I've served under a few captains in my day, and most of them were unruly taskmasters. Fortunately, the boy is as soft as seaweed. Grew up on land with his father, some coin counter for the East Empire Company. So the boy has no experience at sea, and even less with men. He doesn't like raising his voice or telling the crew what to do.
Well, that's good for you. I take it his mother would not put up with a milk drinker for a son.
Sure, if his mother were here, she'd tell him to be assertive, confident. The boy certainly tries to be, and some days he halfway gets there. Only being halfway confident is like being halfway pregnant.
What?
All I have to do is complain a bit, and he'll fold faster than a torn sail. It's a good thing, too. The boy is too scared of Ravam, and he doesn't like pushing Guthrum in his old age. That just leaves me.
The boy does seem a bit green for a captain.
Greener than pond scum, and just as wet behind
Wow.
the ears. The boy needs a bloody chart just to find his crotch.
Wow. He can't possibly be that bad.
The other day, he got the lover and the shadow mixed up, and nearly sailed us right into a glacier teeming with ice wraiths.
Fucking
The
hell.
divines Guthrum smut the boy and took the helm. The place was a sudden death trap. I almost would have preferred the captain sail us into oblivion. One of these days, he just might.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Well, not. He can replace you if you're not careful.
That's not likely. It takes stones to strip a man of his livelihood. It's like killing someone, only you have to look them in the eye. It's you, and you alone, has to tell him his children will starve. You have to stand before him, man to man, and tell him he has to sell his wife to a stronghold to spend the rest of her life as some orc love slave.
Wow.
Only the captain wouldn't do that.
It's a bit extreme.
He wants to be liked. He cares too much. We aren't sailors to him, we're family.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing good ever came out of caring. There is two ways to happiness in this world. One's bitter and cold and comes in a bottle. The other's just learning to be cold.
I agree. Emotions cloud judgment. Better to stay even keel.
Then you'll go far in life. Just look at me. My pockets are heavy and my burdens are light. It wasn't always so, the way old Lady Wayfinder worked us. She always wanted the knots redone, or the deck washed, or the mast inspected.
How is Captain Wayfinder different?
The boy wouldn't know the mast from the bow if it wasn't written down in some book. Guthrum keeps the vessel seaworthy. But as far as I'm concerned, we ought to stay on land and let the boy play captain of the docks.
You got any other stories? I'm really enjoying this conversation with you.
Sure. It happened when I was but a minnow, working on a different boat. I was more stowaway than deckhand. Now you hear stories about men going overboard, getting swept away by a rough wind or going mad from the heat.
What happens to the ones who go overboard?
Most of them get picked up, but some captains will let a man drown.
Oh
If
shit.
that happens, there is no way a man can survive. Except on this voyage. We found the man. 8 days off the shore, and there he was, clinging to a plank out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh wow. There's no way he could survive that long.
Maybe if he was an Aragonian, it would have made sense. Only this man was an Imperial, and by all accounts he had nothing more than a cold.
What?
He never said so much as a word the rest of the voyage, but he had the crew spooked. It was more than just the circumstances of his arrival. Foolish as I was, I tried to speak with him once. Only the captain himself wrenched me aside and told me to stay away.
Did you ever find out who he was?
Yes and no. It wasn't until we docked at Solitude and the Imperial went in his way that the captain took me aside. He asked me, "Are you blind, boy? Did you not see the dagger? The way that Imperial was dressed?" I was never much one for paying attention, but like a sailor mapping a constellation, I began to connect the stars.
What did you notice about him that was different?
It's not as if the clothes and the dagger hailed from across the ocean, but they were just foreign enough to be strange.
Interesting.
I suppose you know naught of history, boy, the captain said. But the hilt on his dagger and the style of his tunic are not from this time. Yet, that dagger was as fresh as codling, forged maybe 3 weeks before we left dock, and not a sign of rust.
Interesting. That is
Right
interesting. Right. Thank you for the chat.
I plan to spend all
I
the
don't
days
like
I
to.
got left on the water.
But I
Where
need
I'm
to
Hi
go.
there, Captain.
Everyone thinks I'm too young to be a ship's captain, but I'm going to prove them wrong.
Well, I've just had a very interesting conversation, so you're the captain.
By inheritance, as my men are fond of saying. Can't blame them. My mother ran the Sea Squall as strictly as she ran the house. I've been trying to find new areas of business, trying to win the sailors' respect, but I keep having problems. Take the last trade we did. Some fine-cut void salts from the College of Winterhold. Plenty of coin if you know who to sell it to.
What happened to the salts?
Sailors are what happened to them. They got drunk and ended up losing the merchandise in some cave. If you're not afraid of a little exploring, I'll pay good gold to get those salts.
I love a good quest.
Thank you, friend. Good luck. I don't buy all that talk about ship captains having to
Find the salts.
be stern and
Where are the salts? How did they end up right the way over there? Right, Lydia.
I want my crewmen to enjoy their work.
Unless there's anything else to do in this town. Then I think... Let's go check the other mine quickly, and then we'll probably head out to Ustengrav. We have spent, like, hours talking, it feels like. And not much action. So... Where was the other mine? Oh, it was over here. Is there anybody here to speak to?
You're wrong to come here, stranger. No rest in Dawnstar.
Who's in charge around here?
That would be Jarl Skald the Elder. He's over in the White Hall, probably talking about Ulfric like he's the second coming of Talos.
Okay. What do you do in Dawnstar?
I own Ironbreaker Mine. We make twice as much coin as those Horkers over in Quicksilver Mine. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I pay a good wage for any iron ore you dig up, if you're looking for work.
Oh, sweet.
Until next time.
Merchant.
These dreams are real, I tell you.
Can't sleep
Real.
well no matter how much drink I put in me.
Right. Off to Ustengrav. To retrieve the horn of Jurgen Windcaller. Oh, there's a Khajiit caravan. Hi there.
Bandits harass the caravans at every step, but Khajiit usually scare them off.
And it's giving you trouble.
A few days ago we were ambushed. A nuisance, really. But many of the marauders had quick fingers. One of them stole my moon amulet, given to me by my mother when I was just a cub. It is my only memory of home in this cold land.
I'm sorry. I could get that amulet back.
You are kind to offer. We believe the bandits are part of a group headquartered here. Be careful. I missed my amulet. But a life cannot be replaced as easily.
That's very true. You guard the caravan?
Yes, I was hired to protect the others as we walk the roads of Skyrim. It is a thankless task, and I would rather be back home in elsewhere, but I have little choice. Akari freed me from a prison in Cyrodiil, and now I must repay my debt to him. A word of advice, my friend. Do not mix gambling and drink. Taken together, they will empty your pockets of every septim.
I mean, that's good advice. What dangers does the caravan face?
Skyrim is filled with all manner of dangerous beasts. Wolves, trolls, mammoths, and giants would all like to make a meal of us. But the dragons are the most fearsome. Lucky for us, they don't seem to hunt along the roads.
Well, that's good.
May your road lead you to warm sands. A peaceful greeting to you.
A peaceful greeting to you too.
The longer we travel the roads of Skyrim, the more empty this land seems. I hope that you will come to do business with us again.
Hi there.
So many refuse to talk to us. They call us thieves and smugglers. I am glad to see that you are not such a one.
Not me. I'm happy to speak to everybody. How long you been in Skyrim?
Not long, in truth. I came to Skyrim after I found myself unwelcome in both Elsewhere and Cyrodiil. I seem to have an unfortunate talent for getting myself involved in misunderstandings.
Misunderstandings. Here we go.
Rasad was able to look past that, and it was he who helped to set me up with a trade caravan. Now I work for him.
I think we've spoken to Rasad. I think we have. Have you had any trouble with locals though?
Mostly, it is the Nords. They do not like outsiders in their land, and so we are forbidden to enter their cities. When they look upon us, they see only pickpockets and skooma dealers. It is most unfair, but we do our best to ignore them.
Yeah, it sounds a bit unfair.
May the sun keep you warm, even in this land of bitter cold.
And you too. Oh. We haven't spoke to the, these people.
Good afternoon.
Oh, you've got nothing to say. What about you? Oh, you're Shady Sam. Okay. Off we go. To Ustengrav. After a long... We will come back for Nightcaller Temple. I just don't think we're going to have a very good time in there at the moment.